Welcome students. Now we start with the last topic, that is the chemical admixtures, special concrete and extreme weather concreting. So in this topic we have to be studied the various admixtures, chemicals which are used for the concrete to improve the quality and the properties of the concrete, like setting time, like strength, like durability, impermeability, etc. Special concrete, that is high strength concrete, precast RMC, ready mixed concrete, fiber reinforced concrete. So some special concretes we have to be required to be prepared for the specific type of the work. So it include the type of the concretes and extreme weather concreting. So in which we have to be study the weather conditions like the cold weather concreting and hot weather concreting, their effect on concrete and guidelines or the precaution to be taken during concreting in this type of the weather conditions. So first we start with the extreme weather concreting. So extreme weather concreting or the extreme weather conditions are the two types, that is cold weather and hot weather. So first we go for the cold weather concreting. The concreting operation which is done below or less than 5 degree Celsius are known as the cold weather concreting. Due to low temperature, the main problem occurs in that the slow development of the strength and concrete remains in a plastic stage for a long time. The large temperature difference between the surface and the inner part of the concrete member can cause cracking and affect on the durability of a concrete. So first is the cold weather concreting is a concreting work which is done below the 5 degree Celsius temperature. Then it is known as the cold weather concreting. So below having the low temperature, so the main problem is the setting and development of the strength of the concrete. So if there is a normal temperature or having the greater temperature, then concrete will set fastly, and rate of hydration is having the greater rate of hydration, so it will develop the strength. But if there is a temperature is very low, then the rate of hydration reaction decreases, and concrete will not set in a specific time, and it will remain in a plastic stage for a long time. And also the development of the strength is also very slow. Third point is given, the large temperature difference between the surface and inner part of the concrete causes cracking and affect on the durability of a concrete. It means that if we casted the concrete or any structural member like column or a beam, then the hydration reaction gets started when we mix the cement with the water, and the hydration reaction is an exothermic reaction in which the concrete is in which heat is gained, and due to which the inner temperature is having the inner concrete is having the greater temperature than the surface concrete, which is subjected to the cold weather or exposed to the cold weather. So due to this difference in the temperature, there may be a possibility of formation of the cracks, and it will affect the durability of a concrete. So the cold weather concreting is nothing but the concreting which is done at a temperature below or less than 5 degree Celsius. So next is effect of cold weather concrete or cold weather on a concrete. First is delay in a setting, that is the concrete will not set easily, so it required a long time. Early freezing of a concrete and stresses due to the temperature. So it is about the effect of cold weather on a concrete. We see one by one. First one, delay in the setting. In cold weather, the rate of setting and hardening of a concrete, setting comma hardening of a concrete is very slow, and which will causes delay in the removal of a formwork. So in common work, we like a construction of a column, we place the concrete, and after 24 hours or after 1 day, we can remove the formwork because the concrete get set, or it will having the sufficient strength and it become hard. So we can remove the formwork after 24 hours or after 1 day. But in cold weather concreting, it is not possible concrete to set easily in a 24 hours, or it will require a greater time. So we will require to maintain the formwork for a long time, up to 3 to 4 days, depending upon the weather conditions. So we require the greater time to remove of the formwork. Like in normal condition, we remove the formwork of the slabs after 20 days or 21 days or 28 days. So it is not possible to remove the formwork in the same days for the cold weather concreting, because it required to be greater time for a setting. So we will have to be placed the formwork at a greater time, so that concrete will get set and it will have the sufficient strength, so withstand with the sulfate and the other weight. So it required the greater time for the setting and removal of the formwork. It is the one of the effect, and due to which there is a large time is required for the construction work. Next is early freezing of a concrete. The water from a concrete freeze due to cold weather and affect on the hydration reaction. So temperature is below the 5 degrees. So water will get water which is mixed in a concrete is freeze due to the weather condition, and it will affect on the hydration reaction, and the rate of hydration decreases as the water is not easily mixed with the concrete, or it may be converted into the small ice pieces, and due to which the mixing of concrete is very difficult, and also the hydration reaction is also get affected due to this cold weather. So it is the one of the effect of the cold weather on a concreting, that is early freezing of the concrete. Also, if the water is converted into the ice due to cold weather, and after increasing temperature, then this ice will melt and into the water, and the space which is occupied by this ice is remain as a voids, and it will also affect on the strength of a concrete. So it is also the one of the effect of a freezing of a or a cold weather on a concrete. Next one, stresses due to temperature. The change in temperature causes the expansion and contraction, which will lead to the formation of the cracks. As there is a large difference in the temperature between the inner surface of the concrete and the outer surface of the concrete, so due to the large difference, there is a possibility of the formation of the cracks. Also, due to the large change in the temperature due to the environmental conditions, there may be a formation of the cracks. So in cold weather, due to the cold weathers, there is a formation of the ice ice, and this ice will get converted into the water after increasing the temperature, and due to which there will be formation of the voids, or creation of the pressure into the concrete, and it will definitely form the cracks into the concrete. So there is a formation of the stresses due to the change in temperature, which will result in a formation of the cracks. Next one, precautions to be taken during the cold weather concreting. First one, temperature control of the ingredient. Second, use of the insulating formwork. Placement and curing. Delay in the removal of formwork. Addition of the admixture or chemicals. So these are the precautions to be followed during the cold weather concreting. We see one by one. First is temperature control of ingredient. The two ingredients, namely water and aggregate, are heated for preventing the concrete from freezing. So the ingredients of a concrete like water and aggregate, that is sand or aggregate, are heated for preventing the freezing of a concrete. So the heating of a aggregate, it is not actually practicable in during the construction work, but water can be heated, or the water can be boiled so that it will not freeze due to the temperature, and concreting work can be done easily. So by increasing the temperature of the water and aggregate, we can avoid the freezing of a concrete, because it is possible to heat the water at a construction site or in a practice, but it is not uh, much easy to heat the or increase the temperature of the aggregate, because the aggregate is required in a large quantity. So, and they are difficult to handle after heating. So we can use, or we can heat the water as a ingredient of a concrete to control the temperature or avoid the freezing of a concrete. Next one, use of insulating formwork. The insulating of a formwork can be done by covering the formwork by suitable material like plastic, etc. So if there is a concreting work that has to be done into the formwork, then after placing of the formwork, we can cover the formwork by use of the suitable material like the plastic or any other material. So which will avoid the snow or the ice onto the formwork, and it will get removed, and then we can place the concrete. And due to the insulating material, the temperature of the formwork will maintain, so due to which the concrete will not subjected to the low temperature. So it is insulation of the formwork is possible for the small type of the work, but if there is a quantity of the formwork or the work is having the large amount, then it is not easy to insulate the each formwork or cover each formwork with the material. Next one, placement and curing. So before placing the concrete on the formwork, ice, snow, etc. are removed from the formwork and reinforcement. So before placing the concrete into the formwork, we have to be remove all the ice and snow from the formwork and also from the reinforcement, and then we done the concreting work. Next one, delay in the removal of the formwork. So as in cold weather concreting, the rate of hydration is very low and development of the strength is also very low. So we have to be required to place the formwork for a greater time or for the long time, so that the concrete will achieve its strength and it will withstand with the sulfate and the other loads. So we require to increase the stripping time for the formwork. That is, removal of the formwork can be done after long time, after confirmation of the setting of the concrete. So these are the precautions to be required to be taken during the cold weather concreting. Sorry, last one point is addition of the admixture or the chemicals. The accelerating admixtures, which are accelerate initial setting time, must be used for cold weather concreting. So the accelerating admixtures, which will increase the increase the rate of hydration of a concrete and decreases the setting time of a concrete, we can use. So due to which the rate of hydration get increased and concrete will set in a suitable for the specific time, and it will can gain strength in a specific time. So it will help in the removal of the formwork as in a specific time and done the construction work within the required time, or fast construction work can be done with a speed. So the accelerating admixtures can be used for the cold weather concreting, which will increase the rate of hydration, strength, and accelerate the setting time of a concrete. So it is all about the cold weather concreting. Next is hot weather concreting. Any concreting operation which is done at the about 40 degrees Celsius is known as the hot weather concreting. So the concreting work which is done below 5 degrees is known as the cold weather concreting, and the concreting work which is done above 40 degrees Celsius is known as the hot weather concreting. The higher temperature causes the rapid hydration and decreases the setting time of a cement. So due to the high temperature, there is an increase in the rate of hydration and setting of a cement. So it will decrease the setting time of a cement, that cement will get set within the specific time. So will require or will have the less time for the mixing, placing and transportation compaction of the concrete. The workability decreases and hence water demand increases. So due to the high temperature, there is a loss of water due to the evaporation or other causes. And loss of water will affect on the workability of a concrete, and hence water demand increases. But increase in the water demand will causes decrease in the water cement, affect the water cement ratio, and it will affect on the strength of a concrete. So it is a hot weather concreting information. Then we go through the effect of hot weather concreting. Accelerate setting time. Next one, reduction in strength. Third one, cracking. And fourth one, difficulty in controlling the air content. So we see one by one. That is first one, accelerate setting time. So due to the high temperature, the rate of hydration increases, which accelerate initial setting time of a cement and hence the concrete. As large temperature will increases the rate of hydration, and increasing the rate of hydration will causes the fast setting of the concrete and also gaining the strength. So it will decreases the initial setting time of our cement, and we will have a very less time for mixing, transportation, placing and compaction of a concrete. So due to the large temperature, it accelerates the setting time of a concrete, and the concrete will set within the specific time, and it will get strength in a faster rate. So we will require to be done the concreting operations within the specific time. Next one, reduction in strength. So due to the decrease in workability of concrete, water demand increases, which will affect on the mixed proportion and strength of a concrete. So due to the high temperature, there may be a loss of water due to the evaporation and other causes. And loss of water will affect on the workability of a concrete. Or due to the high temperature, there is increase in the rate of hydration and rate of setting, and due to which concrete is become unworkable within the specific time. So we will have to be required add extra water to make a concrete workable, and it will affect on the water cement ratio, and water cement ratio will affect on the strength and proportion of a concrete. So due to this, there may be reduction in a strength. So practically the workability of concrete, to maintain the workability of concrete, we can add the powders, which is chemicals, or the liquids chemicals which are available in the market, so that the concrete will remain in a workable state, and also it will having the low water demand, so that it will not affect the proportion and strength of a concrete. Next one, cracking. The high temperature causes loss of water due to the evaporation and accelerated setting time, which causes the formation of the cracks. So in hot weather concreting, like in the summer season, if you done the concreting of the slab, so during the concreting of the slab, if there is a large quantity of the work, then while placing the concrete uh, batch by batch or from starting to the end, when we place the concrete, then due to the high temperature there is the loss in water, and this loss in water will causes the formation of the cracks into the slab or the concrete work. So we'll require the instant or quick curing by spraying the water into the concrete surfaces like a slab, so that it will maintain the water quantity and temperature of the concrete, and it will avoid the formation of the cracks. So due to the high temperature, there is a development of the high strength and setting, and if there is a decrease in the water quantity, then it will definitely causes the cracks into the surfaces or in a concrete. Last one, difficult in controlling air content. So due to the high temperature, it is very difficult to maintain the air content in a concrete, and hence it will decreases the workability of a concrete. If there is a small air content in a concrete, then it will make a concrete more workable. So the small air bubbles are also, we use some chemicals which causes the small air bubbles into the concrete, due to which the concrete is become a more workable at a lower quantity of water. So at a high temperature, it will not possible to maintain the air content in a concrete, and it will decrease the workability of a concrete. So it is about the effect of high temperature. Next is precautions to be taken during the hot weather concreting. First is temperature control of ingredient, then mixed proportion, placement and curing. So we go through the point by point. First one, temperature control of ingredient. The temperature control of fine and coarse aggregate is done by storing them into the sheds. So the aggregate like coarse and fine aggregate are stored into the sheds, so that they will not in contact with the directly with the sunlight. So the temperature will not increases due to the direct sunlight. So to avoid this, we store into the shades. The temperature of water can be controlled by addition of the crushed ice. So we will add the ice into the water, so that the temperature of the water can be controlled or reduced by use of the ice. Same which will be done in in cold weather concreting, that is control of the ingredients. But here we require to be maintain the low temperature. So for maintaining the temperature, we place the aggregate into the shades, or store the aggregate into the shades, and to decrease the temperature of water, we have to add the crushed ice into the water, or use of the cold water for the concreting. But same as the aggregate is, if it is aggregate are in large quantities, then it is very difficult to store into the sheds. So easy way to control the temperature of the water by using the cold water or by addition of the crushed ice. Next one, mixed proportion. The concrete should have minimum percentage of the cement having lower heat of hydration. So during the mixing or design the mixed proportion for a hot weather concreting, the mixed proportion should be such a way that it will having the minimum specific amount of the cement content, because increase in the cement content will increases the heat of hydration, and due to the increase in the heat of hydration at a large temperature, it will definitely causes the loss of water and causes the cracks into the concrete work. So to reduce these cracks and maintain the, to decrease the heat of the hydration, we require to be use the concrete cement with a specific percentage, and use the cement that is low heat cement, which will having the low heat of hydration or rate of hydration. So which will having the slow rate of hydration, slow setting, which will allow the to do the concreting operations on a site in a specific time. Next one, placement. The cold water should be sprinkled on the formwork and reinforcement. So before placing the concrete, in case of the hot weather, we have to place the water onto the formwork or the reinforcement. So we sprinkle the water onto the formwork and reinforcement, and then we add the concrete or place the concrete. So the formwork or the reinforcement will not absorb the water from the mixed proportion, and it will not affect the water cement ratio. Next one is curing. Continuous wet curing is important without any gap because alternate wetting and drying lead to the formation of the crack. So in cold hot weather concreting, we require the continuous curing, and if there is a gap between the curing, then due to the alternate curing, it will cause the cracks due to change in temperature. So the continuous curing is most important in case of the hot weather concreting. So it is about the extreme weather concreting, that is cold weather concreting and hot weather concreting, their effect on a concrete and the precautions to be taken during the concreting in a hot weather and cold weather concreting. Okay. In next lecture we go through the admixtures which will use in a concreting work. Thank you very much joining with us.